The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Welcome to the July 4th weekend edition of the TFNN show. Let's take a quick look here at the DAX index. As you can see, we're probing for a bottom down in this area. We got the holiday coming up on Wednesday. Remember, we're going to be closed. It's going to be a thin week all week because a lot of people are taking the whole week off or parts of the day. So you'll probably see some increased volatility because of the lack of liquidity in some of these things. So we'll be watching as close as we can, of course. But this is a big holiday, and a lot of people are traveling, folks. I happen to do a little bit of driving on Saturday, and holy moly guacamole. I couldn't believe that we were in such an area for traffic. My goodness. I think everybody in Arizona, California, and Nevada were driving over the weekend, but it was really a lot of stuff going on. All right, we've taken a look at the DAX. If we take a look at the FTSE, which has been actually an easier pattern to look at because we've had multiple ABCD patterns coming in there at that 7,500 level. We were able to rally 200 points over a few days, and now we're pulling back down to the 78% level to see if this is going to hold. Folks, this is very similar to what we have going on. No, believe it or not, Mr. Bill, the UK does not celebrate the 4th of July. I've never been able to figure out why, because we're so close, but they do not celebrate the 4th of July. Oh, that was supposed to be funny, but I guess it isn't. Anyway, let's move on here. Do you realize how many people we lost during that war and the Civil War? I mean, it was like 10 times all the wars combined. I mean, it's amazing the number of people that died during those wars. It's really really quite sad. Now, someone's asked a question about the gold market, and we were talking about the 1249. That was one of the things we looked at over the weekend, and on Sunday night, we had a really nice Gartley down there at the 78% level at the 1249 level. And of course, this gives us a possibility of our first really good rally. We haven't had a rally. The one on between the 29th and the 30th was $10. That's our biggest rally in 3.5 weeks. So we've got a potential to see that get up to possibly 1259 if it gets started here. But it's still, to me, a rally in a bear market. I think we're getting close to this bottom here that we've been waiting for in gold, but it's not ready yet. That's what it looks like, from my opinion, on a longer-term basis. If we take a look at the one that looks very interesting, of course, is the Bull Bear Index. And if you take a look at that, by the way, speaking of gold, we have a gold member coming on at 9:30. We got Arch Crawford from Crawford Perspectives will be our guest today, which always fun to talk to Arch here in Tucson. Anyway, you'll notice here that we had a really strong day here on Friday in the Bull Bear Index. And I was told from several different people that Bull Bear Index is at its lowest level for readings in a long time. In other words, there's so many people bearish gold that there's just very, very few people that are bullish. That could be enough to give it a good rally in itself. So we'll pay relatively close attention to that. Now, I have a question from one of our listeners about how I got started in the astrology part. I've already talked about Mary Rivers many times. She walked into the Drexel office, wanted to buy silver, et cetera, et cetera. But my real interest in astrology didn't happen until 1986 when Dr. Ruth Miller, who I had been hedging her crops for her son and her husband for many years when I was at Drexel, and I had very little contact with her. I talked to John and Terry all the time, but not to Ruth. Well, she had went into my grandmother's restaurant that was started there in Terre Haute, Indiana in 1932 right in the depths of the Depression. My grandmother and her two sisters started this restaurant and ended up being the best place to eat in the whole county. And it was in the family for 72 years. Ruth went in there and she gave my aunt, who is now running the place, a little note that said, soybeans are going to go off the board. I think it was November soybeans were going to go off the board at around 6:06 or something. I don't even remember it. I didn't keep the paper. I wish I would have. So she sent me that on a little note written on one of the napkins from the restaurant. And so I taped it, to my computer that I used to check on prices. And this is, we had just started getting prices on a computer. That didn't start till about 83. So you could get the prices. So as we got closer to that time frame, it was about October of that year, I noticed that the beans went off within a penny or two of that. And she had left her phone number. She said, give me a call. So I called her up and she said, well, she said, I found cycles that are related to these soybeans, related to these Fibonacci numbers in soybeans that are really interesting in how it relates to astrology. She said, I really think you should come down here to Florida. She lived in Florida during the winter months, and they had just moved down there. And she says, why don't you come down and spend Thanksgiving with us, and we'll go over some of this stuff. So I said, okay. And so I went down there in about the middle of November to start to study, and I stayed with her until right around December the 1st. And we worked 20 hours a day, and believe me, that woman had more energy than anybody. But she showed me, these relationships between Venus and Uranus, and how the Bradley model worked, and all these things. And we had all kinds of really good ideas, and we were able to call on our good friend Neil Michelson from Astro Computing that had all the astrology stuff. Jim Twentyman had all the data, so all we had to do was match it up. And so that's what we started to do, and I kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And after about a 5-month period, I had enough material there to actually do a book, and that's where the Astro Cycles, the Trader's Viewpoint, came through, and that's how it all started with the astrology, and the book took off and was really, really successful, which got me back into trading, big time, and into astrology, which I kept up for about 6 years. And then I just got so darn busy, with the trading that I just couldn't do the newsletter and the hotline and everything. And so I just decided to just go on and just do the trading, and that's pretty much it. But I don't have any key or any really secrets in astrology. I've always said that all along. There's a lot of little things that work. We look at apogee, perigee, we look at full moons and new moons. The Bradley model works sometimes great. The last couple of years it has hardly been any help at all, but boy, for many years it was pretty much spot on. So you just don't know. You just sort of have to add it together. And we've had some great guests on here that discuss their approach to astrology, and we're going to have Arch Crawford on today, and so he'll tell us a little bit about what he did. But there's no holy grail out there. The holy grail is that 9-inch cycle between your left ear and your right ear. That's the one that really is the one that is important. So that's the one you have to pay attention to, because that's the one that controls the risk. That's the only thing you can control in the risk-reward equation. That's the only thing, is that risk, and that's what you got to focus on. We're going to take a little break here, and then we'll be back, and then we will talk about the Canadian dollar and a few other things that look really interesting here over the next few hours. We're going to talk about the S&P.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary Power Law Vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we're back, folks. I've posted a chart of the E-mini S&P here as of Sunday night. As you'll notice that we went down to the 61% retracement last night very quickly at 27.12. And that was a 61% retracement of the previous day's range. We then rallied 12 handles. We got all the way up to 27.24, which was a 382 retracement. And then the selling came in, and the Dow was the first to give up the ghost and was immediately down almost 200 points at one time during the night. And the Dow, the S&P was down about 18. And, you know, it looks like, and this is just my 2 cents worth, if you look at this pattern, it appears that we have a multiple numbers coming in here down around the 2680 level is what it looks like to me. That would be a 3-drive pattern, and it would also be right at that 1.618 level. But the overall scenario seems to be, you know, relatively bearish. We're seeing that same bearishness across the board in Shanghai, and then also in the FTSE and also in the DAX. So. And remember, we have a strong seasonal low coming in here sometime around the 9th to the 12th of July that we got from our good friend Stan Harley. So we want to watch that pretty closely. And with the holiday weekend coming up, you know, we split the week up right in the middle. This is going to be a really an unusual week. But I wanted to mention one other thing about the TFNN show. I don't know if you folks appreciate it, but when David White comes on and talks about the technical stuff that's out there, it's really helpful. I mean, this young man really understands, you know, some of the technical things that are going on, and I really appreciate, you know, what David. I don't get to listen to everybody else because I'm not I don't like to sit in front of the computer very long after the trading starts because I let the market do its own thing. But he really has some great stuff in there. You know, Basil has some wonderful stuff, as does Steve Rhodes. I mean, you know, just the quality of the stuff that we have here at TFNN is really quite amazing. But David's white things on the technical part, and that's the hardest part that we want to remember. We've just been reminded that if we hadn't have won the Revolutionary War, we would all be speaking English now. And I hope our English would be better than it is right now, because sometimes my English reminds me more of my days in southern Indiana than it did when I went to Oxford. And of course, when I went to Oxford, it was only to have lunch with a friend of mine. Okay, let's move on to take a look at the Canadian dollar, because that's an interesting one that had a big reversal last week. You'll notice that we went up and we actually made a previous high by 2 pips up there at that 78% level. And from that level, we've sold off well over 200 and some pips, and we're bouncing back just a little bit today. But with multiple numbers up here, this would tell us that we most probably made a very serious spot here in this. We're selling down in the euro, and that's pretty much expected also. The gold looked like it was going to rally, but that thing didn't last very long. Folks, gold really looks like it wants to head towards that 1,220 some dollar level. I showed the gold bear index, but if you take just look at this chart on gold, I mean this is a really nice technical chart, and you'll notice that there's a 20-man line that hit in there just the other day, and if we go below that 1246 level, that's going to break that, and we're not very far away. We're only $32. We're less than that. We're trading at 40. We're around $26 away from our 1222 target, which is the 61% retracement of that whole move that started back in December. The key here, from a technical point, is we made that triple top up there at the 1365 level. We already talked about that being a very important 78% level from the high in 2016, but excuse me, 2015. But if you take a look at the ABCD structure on the way down, it just sets up so beautifully. You got a perfect 382 retracement that took 3 weeks to form. My goodness, that's that in itself was the first warning sign that, and then you can see what happened right after the market started down and we went below that old low at 1285. After that, it was all the way down, and looks like we're heading towards 1222. That's what it looks like. We're not very far away. I mean, the old lows that we made back in December at 1242, we're within a heartbeat of those. And we take those out, you can imagine how quickly we're going to reach down to touch those that 61% retracement level. Now, the $64 question is, this might not even be the low in gold. Maybe this is a major overall bearish pattern that could take gold to 860, because there's a lot of people out there that really believe that gold is going to go to 860, and 860 was the old high from back in 1980 on January the 20th. We had 863, I believe, in the gold. So there's a possibility of that also, but there should be some pretty strong support at that 1222 level, because you're going to have a beautiful ABCD pattern there. You're going to have 61% retracement there. Plus, you're going to have a very positive, seasonal time frame between July, August, and September. As Bill Meridian pointed out to us on Friday, that we do have a lot of seasonals that come together during July, August, and September that should give a little bit of a boost to the gold market. And we are certainly oversold. There's no question about that. If we look at the platinum, the number that we're looking on platinum comes in around the 832 level. I don't know where it's trading this morning, but it was around 850 and 855 and change. So within a $20 away in platinum, but that's a very long-term ABCD pattern on the long-term weekly charts that expands to that level, which also is a 1.618 level. I think we should take a look at that because it's that important. I believe we will. We'll take a look at it, this 1.618 level here in the platinum, and then we'll be watching it right at this level. Yeah, it's down there at 837 in the platinum, where the 1.618 expansion comes in. So we'll keep an eye on that as we look at some of these others. Now, someone asked a question about the price of copper. Folks, the price of copper has really been hit pretty hard, and it doesn't look like it wants to have a whole lot of trends in this area. I imagine we're down again today. Haven't checked it yet, but it looks like we're heading towards the 285. The last price I checked was around 294. So it looks like we got another 8 or 9 cents just to get to that 1.27 expansion, which would also be a 61% retracement of the move from last April, but also it would be the high that we made back in January of 2017. That would be the old high, and many times these markets go back and touch that. So that 282 level in copper should be very, very important to watch. It's just got something in it that makes it look technically we could get there. Could someone tell me what the last price of copper is? Because I am not up to date on copper. I've got everything I'm going and everything else, so I don't really know, but it looks like we should be close to around 291, I would guess, this morning in copper based on what some of these other markets are doing, but we'll figure this out. When we get back from the break, we're going to have Arch Crawford from Crawford Perspectives on the line. Hopefully he'll give us some really good insights. 294. Thank you, Terry. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I believe we have my good friend Arch Crawford on the line. Arch, are you there?
That's a good belief.
Well, welcome to Tucson, Arizona, my friend. Hey, Sam, let me ask you a question. We've got an eclipse coming up here in July, correct? Solar eclipse?
2 of them, yeah. 1 solar, 1 lunar.
Okay, now is that unusual to have 2 in 1 month?
The lunar one is on the, well, let's see, July 12th is the solar one.
Mm-hmm.
And the 27th is the lunar one. Lunar eclipse conjunct Mars.
What does that make a difference because it's conjunct Mars? I know when Mars was one of the planets that W.D. Gann talked about quite a bit. What's your feeling here? What's going to be happening? It looks like we're being pulled down into something.
Well, these are two of the most powerful eclipses we've had in years. The first one is opposite. The lunar eclipse is conjunct Pluto on the 27th. Is that right?
Yeah, 27th I know is one eclipse because that's an important day.
The coming eclipse is conjunct Pluto, and that last time we had a lunar eclipse conjunct Pluto. The July 12th is the solar, the 27th is the lunar, and the solar eclipse opposes Pluto, and it opposes it in both declination and longitude, which means it's very tight, very close, and very dangerous, in my opinion. When we had the last one of this nature, we had a lunar eclipse conjunct Pluto in '86, and 4 days later, Chernobyl melted down.
Oh boy!
And the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse is conjunct Mars, and we had a similar thing where we had the lunar eclipse in 1990, and also Mars was opposing Pluto, forming a four-pronged grand cross. And I wrote about that day that there would be coercion, the use of force, a large explosion, and heartlessness or cruelty, August the 2nd to the 7th. And Barron's quoted it. I think they thought it was cute or funny. And August the 2nd, Saddam Hussein unexpectedly attacked Kuwait. So it's that kind of a couple of months. Make up the eclipses anyway.
Sam, we got a question from one of our listeners. Folks, I called Sam is his nickname. His real name, you got Samuel Archibald Arrington Hicks Crawford is your correct name. Is that right, Arch?
Samuel isn't actually a part of it. It's Archibald Arrington Hicks Crawford. And I was living with my cousin Archibald Arrington Hicks when I took Sam.
Sam, how did you get started in astrology? That's the question.
Well, I was a technical analyst at Merrill Lynch in 1963 when an article came out the day before my birthday on the front page of the Wall Street Journal about people using astrology in the stock and commodity markets. So I said, gee, that's a hoot of an idea. I was young and impressionable. And I went and met all of them. And if they had books, I bought the books. And one of the books I got, Lieutenant Commander David Williams had written a booklet, sort of more than a pamphlet, that was on astroeconomics. And next to it in the bookstore in New York was Bradley's Stock Market Prediction, which is also a sort of a booklet, more than a pamphlet.
It's only 47
that's
pages.
How I got interested.
Wow. And you've been doing it ever since. How long have you been writing the Crawford letter?
41 years last May.
41 years? Wow. And you were born in 41. Holy cow. That's really quite a testament, Arch, to what you've done. That's for sure. Arch, let me ask you a question. Someone is asking this question is, on short-term trading, what do you think is the best thing to use as far as astrology?
For short-term trading?
Yeah, for timing. Do you have any guidance there?
Well, for short-term trading, you better learn something about the moon. I haven't done a whole lot of the stuff with the moon, but the around eclipses and around the more planets that are involved, the bigger the movement. In squares, oppositions, and it's a pattern containing several planets. That's the biggest thing that happens. The biggest thing that's happened in my lifetime was a 5-planet conjunction in 1987.
August 25th.
It would be the top day in the market, and it would crash after that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look back, that was the high date, and August the 24th, and then it crashed.
If you remember, I believe we were on a show together with Bill Griffith.
What's that?
We were on a show together with Bill Griffith around that time, as I recall, and you were talking about it at that time.
Well, I was on with Ron and Sana.
Well, yeah, Ron, he was part of it. He was
before CNBC.
Yeah, that was the old FNN in Los Angeles. Arch, one of the questions that's really bugging the folks here at TFNN, including this reporter, and that is the gold market. Does gold have any chance at all of having a rally? We're trading at 1248 and down from 1365, and the whole world is bearish on it. Yet I still keep in the back of my mind that every time gold gets this bearish, it usually has one heck of a rally, but it doesn't have any semblance of it yet. Do you see anything that has hope for gold?
Well, on my weekly chart that was in the last letter, I have a rising trend channel, and I have a heavy line that marks the strongest support on the bottom of that channel, and then an internal trend line a little above that, which was recently broken, but the heavy line at the bottom is so far holding, barely, but it's holding on. A little bit lower is the 200-week moving average on the gold, the GC. Mm-hmm. And so there's strong support where it is, and there's strong support a little bit lower. But so far, the trend channel on the downside, the short term, the hourly one, has been hitting tops and bottoms exactly channel with one or two outside, one minor one outside.
Dan, we got to pay a few bills. Can you stay with us a little longer?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Arch Crawford, perspective.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, folks, we're back talking with Arch Crawford of Crawford Perspectives, Tucson, Arizona. Arch, on one of your charts of your newsletter, you show these really interesting rising wedge patterns that we see here in the stock market. You want to discuss what you're looking at here as far as what the next month or two might mean?
Well, we have the rising wedges in the major indices, and the only one that's not is the NASDAQ 100. They're the hot shots. But the NASDAQ itself is making the same rising wedge patterns as the Dow Jones and the S&P. The Dow Jones broke it first a couple of weeks ago and has been declining through a couple of strong support levels. It went through the 50-day moving average, and then it went through the 200-day moving average. And that's the only one that's broken both. The S&P has broken the 50-day average on, is that today? It broke it on Thursday slightly, rallied back up, and is back down to near the lows of Thursday. And they need to hold here, or it's going to break more seriously down to the 200-day moving average, which is maybe another, 25 or 30 points down on the SPX. The Dow has broken everything except, previous lows. The strong support is 23,250. And that's still another 1,000 points, 800 points, 750. So I'm still quite negative.
Okay. I noticed that you put Bitcoin into your letter. Are you starting to get interested in this?
In what?
Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and stuff?
Well, it just got mentioned more and more places, and it got hot and heavy, and so I mentioned it, I think, the first time in December. And I said there's a couple of dates in December that might be market highs, short-term tops. One is December 2nd, one is December 17th. And I didn't notice at that time that December 17th was a Sunday, and it was the exact top Bitcoin day, period. So
Saturday and Sunday are the bigger volume days for that because, there's so many people, trade it. And, of course, it's off exchange, so they trade it whenever they can. But the cryptocurrency seem to be a thing of the in the interest rate or interest of everybody nowadays. So who knows? Some people say it's the internet on steroids. Other people say it's a scam. But the chart looks normal to me, so who knows? Arch, I got another question.
I'll say this about Bitcoin. it's the most emotional thing, trading, and the emotional things tend to work better with the astrology.
That might be true because we were almost at 20,000, back in January when they first started trading it at the Merc, but come down quite a bit, from that level. We've got a question regarding the relationship of the economy and Donald Trump. You got any feeling about what's happening with politics, Arch?
Well, these eclipses are very dangerous, and I mentioned in the letter that the protectors of the president should be particularly careful during this entire period.
This is the eclipses during July, the 12th and 27th?
Right. And otherwise, he seems to be taking us back towards more constitutional government, where we've been in a long-term trend of more and more socialism, communism kind of approach. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how that's going to work out. When we come up to the midterm elections, it might give him a lot more power, or it might take away power. Mm-hmm. And the elections will tell the tale, and I think there will be dramatic events this year during the eclipses and as we approach the election. So whether the public will decide to give him more power or take power away from him, that's going to be the points to watch.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you, it's like nothing I've ever seen before, and you and I are the same age, so who knows. Listen, I want to thank you for being on our show today, my friend, and if the folks want to get a copy of your recent letter, how would they do that?
They can email Crawford Perspectives at earthlink.net, or just Google Arch Crawford, and my website will come up. But or call the office 520-577-1158. I'm giving away a lot of this particular issue because I think it's very, very important.
Oh, that's good. Well, I hope the folks that are listening will take advantage of it, because you've been around doing this for 41 years, and you've had some, great awards with it, and you're certainly well known. So the information that you put out has always been good, that's for sure. What's your feeling on the oil market, Sam? Anything that you feel about crude oil? The crude oil market.
Yes, the crude oil is following a very, very nice trend. And although it came down recently, it made a little pattern, then it broke up $5 in one day. I thought that was rather dramatic. And now it's gone on to make new highs for the move. I say technically it's in great shape.
Well, that's good. Listen, thanks for joining us, my friend, and I want to wish you a happy 4th of July, and my regards to you and Janice. So I hope you guys have a great time.
Okay, well, pray for the country. Remember that.
I do every day, Sam. I do every day. I'm getting ready to put the flag out this morning right after the show, so I'm going to do my two cents worth. So thanks a lot. Arch Crawford of Crawford Perspectives. We'll have you on again soon, Sam.
All right, love to.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
You bet. Okay, folks, right before we get to the break, we want to take a quick look at the markets. We've actually held really well. The NASDAQ has already rallied its usual 40 points. Gold has continued down to 1247. The euro is selling off. It's around the 116 level. The grain markets are under a great deal of pressure. We've got soybeans down quite a bit, corn down quite a bit. The weather, even though it's hot across the Midwest, is accompanied by the greenhouse effect, where they're getting a lot of rain. I was speaking to my sister yesterday there in Terre Haute, Indiana. It was hot, but it was also a thunderstorm coming in, so that makes for perfect growing conditions. My feeling is that when we come into this eclipse on the 12th, this lunar eclipse, the solar eclipse that we have coming in here on the 12th, which will be a new moon, which will be interesting. for a potential bottom, but that's out about 10 days from where we are right now. I don't expect it to go down for 10 days straight down, but this market has given up well over $2 a bushel, and so this has been a big drop in the grains. 877-927-6648.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and the key thing to keep in mind here is that we have this long-term, well, not long-term, but the next couple of weeks, we have that big ABCD pattern coming in the S&P right around the 2980 level. Gosh, we're not very far away. We could be there in a day or two. So keep an eye on that. Longer term, the stocks are still up. I know we're breaking below key things like the 200-day moving average and some other big things. But if you look at the longer term pattern, it's still looking, bullish on a very, very long term basis. This is going to be just our first really big ABCD pattern that we've had in several years. That the level that we're looking at, of course, is 2,400 is the long-term price objective in the S&P, and that's still substantially higher than we were, before the election. So we'll watch that very, very closely. We're going to We have no more guests this week because of the holiday, so I'm going to try to bring in some ideas on how to use the psychology of trading a little bit from some of my notes from my years working with Mark Douglas, and I'd like to share those with you. I think you'll find those very interesting. So if you have any questions that you want to call in the next few days, this will be a great time to do it because we do have some time to answer some of these questions. I did get a great phone call on Saturday from a student from several years ago, and he was calling me to tell me that he was at the airport in New York and he was taking his wife to France and Italy for 3 weeks because he had done so well in trading recently that he wanted to call and thank me, and that just made my whole weekend. So it made me feel pretty good. And anyway, let's keep in mind that this is a really good time. The people that have, stop and think, 1776. Do you realize how long that was? 877-927-6648.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks!